What's good, sports fans? Are you ready to elevate your live entertainment experience? Well, let me introduce you to SeatGeek, an amazing platform that connects you to your favorite events while saving you money. With SeatGeek, you can easily find tickets for sports games, concerts, and so much more, all in one place. The interface is user-friendly, making it simple to browse and compare prices. And one of the best features is the interactive seating chart. You can see exactly where you'll be sitting and how much you'll be spending, ensuring you get the best value for your money. But here's the best part. Check this out. By using my promo code, ChalkItUpSports, you can enjoy a one-time $20 discount on your first SeatGeek order. That's right, $20 off your first SeatGeek order. Imagine catching that thrilling game or concert without breaking the bank. It's a win-win situation. Plus, you'll be a part of a community of fans who eat, sleep, and breathe live events just as much as you do. So what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description to download the SeatGeek app today. And don't forget to use my promo code ChalkItUpSports for a one-time $20 discount on your first SeatGeek order. Get excited. Now let's get back to the show. Yeah. What's good? This is your boy, Tone DeShields II. You guys are locked in on your dose of Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. Y'all know the vibes. Y'all know the energy. Y'all know where my body be. Make sure y'all smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. The show cannot go on without you. Yes, you. I'm talking to you. Put the cheese steak down. Put the soft pretzel down. Put the water ice down. I know it's a hot day. You know what I mean? Keep your eyes on the road, of course. But I'm talking to you. Yes, the show does not go on without you. All of you guys who are on your way to work, on your way home from work, picking up the kids from the after-school program, picking up the kids from the bus stop. Maybe you ain't got no kids. Maybe you tired of these damn kids and you so glad they back in school because they've been in your way all summer long, whatever it may be. The show does not go on without you. So make sure you stay engaged. Make sure you are locked in. We got so much to get into. We got so much to talk about, man. Your Philadelphia Eagles initial and official 53-man roster has been revealed. And I got to be honest with you guys, like I always am. I like what I see. I don't have too many gripes with the Eagles' official 53-man roster. Now, that roster is definitely likely to change about time we get to the opening game against the Dallas Cowboys. That lineup, that roster can definitely change, especially based on who makes it through waivers and so on and so forth. Who goes to the practice squad. So many variables go into it. But the Eagles have released, along with the rest of the league, they have released the players they're keeping and the players they are cutting. So let's not waste no time. Let's get into the shenanigans. Again, make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Make sure you guys stay engaged in the live chat. The show does not go on without the people. So let's continue to have some fun. Let's continue to have the tough conversations. All right. So As you guys already know, I always keep things written in my notes here. So let's get to it. Before I get to it, I see a comment that stands out to me by DeShields. Now, he says that is not a championship defense. I don't know if he's talking about the Eagles defense. I'm not sure if he's talking about another defense that came up in conversations in the live chat. But this comment stands out to me for one reason and one reason alone. And I asked this question. Did that Eagles defense look like a championship defense at the beginning of 2024? I asked that question, and it's a very simple yes or no. Did the Eagles defense look like a championship defense in September of 2024 or August? Let's stay in the month. Let's stay within the month. This time last year, did that look like a championship defense? I can make an argument. I'm so glad. Who said this? Ty baby. You bring up a great point yourself here. We had more questions last offseason on defense than we did this offseason on defense. let's keep it a buck. We had more questions last offseason than we did this offseason. I understand Zack Baun is an all-pro, but we didn't know what the hell he was going to become. I had my prediction that he was going to be a good player for the Eagles. I predicted that. I'm on record predicting he'll be a good player for the Eagles, but I didn't expect all-pro or Pro Bowl or whatever it may be. I didn't expect all that. So we didn't even expect Baun to do what he did. We didn't even expect Quinyon and Coop to be as solid as they were. We expected more growing pains out of the rookies. Quinyon and Coop were playing like veterans. We got to acknowledge that. Quinyon and Coop, they damn near went through the whole season without a single rookie jinx. I could only probably call out maybe two moments from the 2024 season where Coop and Quinyon looked like rookies. Obviously, for DeShields, it was the Adam Thielen matchup. Adam Thielen worked his ass. And it was probably the second Terry McLaurin matchup for Quinyon Mitchell where Scary Terry got behind him on the deep ball. But other than that, those guys was solid. So, again, the defense we see today is going to be totally different from the defense we see in November, December. Right? We got to keep that in mind. The defense that we see today is going to be totally different come week 8, week 9, week 10. Just like last year, we didn't expect that defense to do what they did. So again, I kind of got beside myself. That wasn't really where I wanted to go. But I do appreciate DeShields for bringing up that point because DeShields again says this is not a championship defense. But neither was the number one defense last year. It took them some time to become what they became. So let's allow this defense, let's allow this team to forge a new identity and become what they need to become. Simple as that. So again, I appreciate DeShields for sparking this flame. You know, it was no love lost, it's no beef, it's no disrespect. I appreciate DeShields for sparking this flame here, for getting us off on the right foot, for getting us off on stable footing, for getting us off to a strong start in the show. We're coming out guns blazing, you guys. So I appreciate DeShields. All right. We got some super chats here. We're going to get to them in a bit. Actually, let's do it right now real quick. Sweet Chin Music says, congrats to Darius Cooper. Or we're going to talk about that, man. Cody, my guy, long time no see. Thank you for the super chat. He said, Tone, you're the man. Keep up the good work this season. Go Birds, baby. You already know, Cody. All right. So let's get to the 53-man roster, and we're also going to address the guys or the players that they cut, okay? All right, let's see. Where are we? All right. So let's do it. Obviously, at quarterback, we have Jalen Hurts, Tanner McKee, and Sam Howell. I think it's great that Tanner McKee didn't land on IR with the thumb injury, which is good. Sam Howell's going to be your quarterback 3 for the season, but depending on McKee's recovery timeline, Sam Howell may be quarterback 2 until McKee is fully ready to go as QB2. And honestly, Sam Howell as your backup, you could do a lot worse. Sam Howell put up a lot of big numbers in 2023. Started a lot of games for the Washington Commanders. So, yeah, Sam Howell, you can do a lot worse. And Sam Howell has experience being a high-volume thrower, has experience pushing the ball downfield. So, yeah, I like that for the Eagles, having Sam Howell as quarterback 3 and quarterback 2 for week 1. Running back, Saquon Barkley, A.J. Dillon, and Will Shipley. I expected that. Fullback, Ben Van Sumeren. I expected that as well. All right, let's keep this thing going here. Okay. So wide receivers, they ended up keeping 5. They kept A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Jihaad Dotson, Darius Cooper, and John Mechie III. I think the shocker for me is them not keeping Aniyah Smith. I thought Aniyah Smith did enough to make this roster. I thought he showed his prowess on special teams. I thought he showed the growth he made as a receiver, especially in the red zone on those quick slant opportunities. Maybe the Eagles believe that they can get Aniyah Smith through waivers. Maybe they believe that. And I honestly think the conversation came down to Darius Cooper or Aniyah Smith. Who do we believe has the highest ceiling as a receiver? Who do we believe has the most value at receiver? Who do we think has a greater chance of getting through waivers? And I think they said to themselves, Howie Roseman and Nick Sirianni and those guys, I think they said to themselves, we can probably sneak Aniyah Smith through waivers. Darius Cooper, that kid showed something in that Bengals game that we need to continue to nurture and water and pour into. Darius Cooper, the way he plays, again, it was really only for one game because the quarterback play for preseasons week 2 and 3 was abysmal. When he actually was with a competent quarterback and Tanner McKee, Darius Cooper did great things against the number ones, against the Bengals' number 1 defense. Granted, the Bengals defense is trash, but regardless, Darius Cooper, just the eye test just says Darius Cooper has a higher ceiling than Aniyah Smith. And sometimes I hate the eye test argument because I feel like it's used negatively as well as it is used positively. But Darius Cooper, when I see Aniyah Smith move and I see Darius Cooper move, I see 2 different species. I mean that with love and respect. When I see Darius Cooper move and I see Aniyah Smith move, they're two different fauna. They're 2 different species. I like this wide receiver room a lot. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Jihaad Dotson, Darius Cooper, John Mechie III. This wide receiver room has versatility. You have power and finesse. You have guys that can block. You have guys who can get it done after the catch. A.J. Brown can block and he can get it done after the catch. Devontae Smith, he's a willing blocker, can get it done. One of the most reliable, probably the most reliable hands on the team outside of A.J. Brown. Jihaad Dotson, a route running technician, knows how to be where he's supposed to be, knows how to run his route to get guys open, runs beautiful flank routes, runs beautiful crossing routes to clear space. Darius Cooper has a lot of pop. We're going to see what he does, what opportunities he gets. John Mechie III can block, has reliable hands, probably doesn't have the highest top end speed, but he's a solid possession guy. You got reliable hands. You got explosiveness and you got reliable hands in this wide receiver room right now. In this wide receiver room right now, you have to give credit where credit is due. All right, and again, I was wrong. I thought they would keep Aniyah Smith. Obviously, they did not. Continuing on, I had the Eagles only keeping 2 tight ends, Dallas Goedert and Grant Calcaterra. They decided to keep 3 this year. They decided to keep Kylen Granson. Now, I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it at all. Kylen Granson, he caught He caught some good passes. He had some moments in the preseason, right? Now, Colin Granson and Grant Calcaterra, they're not the blocker. They're not the blockers that Dallas Goedert is. But nonetheless, I think that tight end room isn't devoid on pass catching ability. I don't think Grant Calcaterra and Colin Granson are devoid of pass catching ability. Are they as explosive or are they as dominant as Dallas Goedert? Probably not. Dallas Goedert is just a physical specimen compared to those guys. But Grant Calcaterra and Colin Granson, they can get open. They have reliable hands. Grant Calcaterra, maybe the numbers don't show that, but whenever the ball came his way in Dallas Goedert's absence, Grant Calcaterra caught some crucial catches. You know what I mean? One most notably, Kenny Pickett, third down, finds Grant Calcaterra on a deep ball. Grant Calcaterra snags it with one hand, keeps the drive alive, and at that point, the Eagles' offense takes off. Right? I like Grant Calcaterra, not the best blocker, but I like him as a pass catcher. I like his vertical ability. Colin Granson, same thing. All right, moving on. The Eagles decided to keep 11 offensive linemen. So peep this. In 2024, they kept 9. I predicted them to keep 10. They ended up keeping 11. Now, prior to the Fred Johnson trade, I had them keeping Lane Johnson, Tyler Steen, Cam Jurgens, Landon Dickerson, Jordan Mailata, Kendall Lamb, Drew Kendall, Matt Pryor, Brett Toth, Darian Kennard. Now, obviously, Darian Kennard was traded to the Green Bay Packers for a draft pick. Kendall Lamb didn't make the cut. And they traded for Fred Johnson. So that completely blew up my predictions for the Eagles' 53-man roster. And it's so crazy because I had Trevor Keegan on my list initially. And I swapped him out for Brett Toth. And I believe, just based off what the roster is telling me right here, I clearly overvalued Kendall Lamb. I overvalued him. He's an older guy anyway. I think Kendall Lamb will land somewhere, but I clearly overvalued Kendall Lamb to the point where the Eagles say, you know what, Tone? We got to go trade for Fred Johnson. Here, look, Fred Johnson is younger. He has experience in this offense. He has experience backing up Lane Johnson and Jordan Mailata in crucial games. So you basically went and got a proven product in Fred Johnson. You kept the rookie Drew Kendall as your backup center. I love that move. I think Drew Kendall is your backup center. Matt Pryor, you went and found him in free agency. He used to play for the Eagles back in the day. But you actually moved on from Matt Pryor during the Carson Wentz trade. But nonetheless, Matt Pryor finds his way back to Philly. You signed him as a free agent. Matt Pryor has right guard and right tackle capabilities. Now, he's a backup for a reason. Just like Fred Johnson, they're backups for a reason. You don't want these guys out there for 17 games, but if you need them to come in and spell your offensive lineman for a snap or for a series or maybe a quarter or a game or 2 weeks, they can do that. But again, I think the Eagles, the offensive line depth looks way better with Fred Johnson's name in it. I'll tell you that right now. When you look at it as a whole, you got Fred Johnson, Drew Kendall, Matt Pryor, Brett Toth, who they like. Brett Toth just finds his way on this roster. It's crazy. And they decided to keep Cameron Williams. I think Cameron Williams went to Texas. So I got that right. Cameron Williams went to Texas. Yes. Cameron Williams went to the University of Texas. 6'6", 317 pounds, good size, good athleticism for the position. They clearly, let's see. Let's see here. Sorry, you guys. I had just got a message real quick. Give me a second. All right, let's see. All right. Okay. Sorry about that, you guys. I was trying to fix something on my end, a little technical difficulty. That's all. Just a slight technical difficulty here. All right. Okay. Sorry about that, you guys. Okay, so where was I? All right, so Fred Johnson, Drew Kendall, Matt Pryor, Brett Toth, Cameron Williams, and Trevor Keegan. I like Trevor Keegan. I'm a Trevor Keegan guy. Cameron Williams, I didn't think he would make the roster. I thought Cameron Williams and Miles Hinton, they showed so many. They're so raw as far as talent. They have traits you like, but they're so raw when it comes to talent. In fundamentals. And look, they still have a lot of these guys were what, 5th, 6th, 7th round picks, something like that. So you got to curb your expectations. But the size that Cameron Williams brings, you like that. You can't teach that. The athleticism he clearly has it. And Jeff Stoutland clearly must have pulled for this guy. So the Eagles managed to keep 2 rookies in their offensive line room, Cameron Williams and Drew Kendall. Not mad at that. Not mad at that at all. And I think Miles Hinton, they hit him. They hit him on IR. So, yeah, let's keep this ball rolling here. All right, defensive tackle. I was completely correct on that. I had the Philadelphia Eagles keeping 6 D tackles. Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Moro Joma, Ty Robinson, Gabe Hall, and Byron Young. I was completely right on that. That went exactly how I expected it to go. I was more accurate on the defensive side than I was offensively when it came to predicting this. Edge rusher. I got edge rusher a little. I was a little off on edge rusher, right? I had them keeping Nolan Smith, Jalen Hunt, Josh Uche, Azeez Ojulari, and Patrick Johnson. They ultimately ended up keeping Ogbo, Okaran. I always mess his name up. Okoronkwo. They ended up keeping Ogbo Okoronkwo instead of Patrick Johnson. Now, Ogbo Okoronkwo has real experience. He has experience in this league. He's a veteran. It's funny. This edge rusher room has a lot of guys in their early to mid 20s. I think Ogbo is probably the oldest guy. Let me see if I can find this out here. Yeah, Ogbo was 30 years old, 6'2", 253 pounds, great size. Came into the league as an older rookie at 24 years old. Spent 3 years with the Rams, a season with Houston, and 2 seasons in Cleveland, where he had one of his better seasons. Particularly the 2022 Houston season and the 2023 Cleveland season. But Ogbo is a guy that has shown over the past few seasons that he can get you. He can get you a few sacks a season as a rotational, as your 5th edge rusher. He can get you 3 sacks. I'm cool with that. Nolan Smith and Jalen Hunt. This is a big year for those guys. We expect them to take that next step. Josh Uche and Azeez Ojulari, they're your rotational pieces. They're gonna have to spell Nolan Smith and Jalen Hunt throughout the season. And they have to be able to prove they can be productive in limited action. And I think Uche and Ojulari, based off of what they've done in their careers, and in particular the injury history with Ojulari, you can probably maximize his production with limited reps, keeping him fresh, keeping him healthy. But yeah, Ogbo Okoronkwo is the person who made the roster that I didn't expect. I thought they would keep Patrick Johnson on the edge. They decided to keep Ogbo. So congratulations to him. And again, I'm going to get to your super chat, you guys. I'm going to get to all your comments here. Let's keep this ball rolling here. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. All right. Linebacker. Inside linebacker. I was correct. I had them keeping Zack Baun, Jihaad, Campbell, Trotter Jr., and Smile Mondon. That was a no-brainer. Cornerback. I was also correct with that. I had them keeping 6 corners. And I was right on all the names. They kept Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, Jakorian Bennett, Adoree Jackson, Keely Ringo, and Matt McWilliams. So Adoree Jackson is the OG in that room. Adoree, I think, is 30 years old, something like that, 30 or 31. Matt McWilliams is the rookie. Jakorian Bennett and Keely Ringo are the 3rd-year guys. Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean are the 2nd-year guys. So this DB room is fairly young. You got a combination of rookies and second and third year guys, and you got one OG and you got one OG with a ton of experience in Adoree Jackson. I personally don't think Adoree Jackson did enough to make this roster. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think Adoree Jackson did nearly enough to make this roster. If you ask me, I think he made this roster by process of elimination, by default, because of that experience. I think he's some kind of some excuse for a security blanket. I don't know. I didn't think Adoree Jackson did enough in coverage, in tackling, in space. I just don't think Adoree Jackson did enough to make this roster. But I had to be honest with myself and acknowledge that he's been getting more of the first team reps than Keely Ringo. So, and the Eagles only made one move to add to the room, and that was Jakorian Bennett. Now, whoever is going to go out there and be cornerback 2 in week 1, we're going to find out. Will it be Jakorian Bennett? Will it be Matt McWilliams? Adoree Jackson? We don't know. But I predicted this room correctly because I had to put my ego to the side and say, you know what? Adoree Jackson is going to make this roster no matter what I want. I think he's and that's what happened. He made the roster. So congratulations to Adoree Jackson. We'll see how that goes, but I think Jakorian Bennett will be CB2 when week 1 starts. That's what I think. And he's only going to get better in this Vic Fangio scheme. All right, at safety, I was also correct. I had them keeping Reed Blankenship, Sidney Brown, Andrew Makuba, and Tristan McCullum. And that's exactly who they kept. Not mad at it at all. I think when the season starts, barring injury, I think Andrew Makuba will be your starting safety come week 1. I think he showed a stronger ability to make plays. I think he showed better prowess in coverage. Like I just believe Andrew Makuba showed better awareness, better technique in coverage than Sidney Brown has. And Tristan McCullum, a player that the Eagles like, a depth piece. Vic Fangio likes him. And as far as specialists go, I had them keeping 3. I had them keeping Charlie Hewlett, the long snapper, but I guess they felt like, hey, we can get him through waivers. We ain't tripping about that. He's a 30-plus-year-old long snapper. No need to hold a roster spot for him. We'll get him through waivers. They kept Jake Elliott and Brandon Mann, of course, your kicker and your punter. Now, when it gets to the injured reserve in the PUP list, Nakobe Dean is on the PUP list right now. He should be ready by week 5. That's what he tweeted, or that's what he posted on his Instagram. Johnny Wilson is done for the season. Has to get surgery on his knee and his ankle. He's done. Cameron Williams, the Eagles are hiding him on IR, another guy that they drafted. I think Cameron Williams is out of Michigan. Make sure I got this right here. Wait, hold on. I'm tripping now. Hold on. Time's out. Hold the hell up. I think I'm a little confused. Hold on. I got something mixed up. Miles Hinton. That's who it is. Miles Hinton. My bad. Let me fix that. Miles Hinton. Excuse me. There we go. My bad, y'all. Miles Hinton. Had my notes mixed up. All right. Miles Hinton, they're hiding him on IR. He went to Michigan. So think about it. The Eagles got 2 offensive linemen out of Michigan. Miles Hinton and Trevor Keegan. You know, Michigan is a run heavy team. All right, let's see here. All right, so that's our 53-man roster. Let's recap it real quick. So quarterback, Jalen Hurts, Tanner McKee, Sam Howell. At running back, they kept 3, Saquon Barkley, A.J. Dillon, and Will Shipley. They kept a fullback in Ben Van Sumeren, who also has linebacker capabilities. At wide receiver, they kept 5 guys, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Jahan Dotson, Darius Cooper. Congratulations to the Charleston State product, man. Congratulations to Darius Cooper. They also kept John Mechie. At tight end, they kept 3 guys, Dallas Goedert, Grant Calcaterra, and Kylan Granson. Offensive line, they kept 11 guys. They kept Lane Johnson, Tyler Steen, Cam Jurgens, Landon Dickerson, which means that Landon Dickerson will not be on IR. He likely will play week 1, week 2 at the latest. Jordan Mailata, Fred Johnson, Drew Kendall, Matt Pryor, Brett Toth, Cameron Williams, and Trevor Keegan. Drew Kendall and Cameron Williams are rookies. Drew Kendall is your backup center. Matt Pryor is your rotational right guard and right tackle. Trevor Keegan also has guard and center capabilities. Fred Johnson is your swing tackle as well. Cameron Williams, a developmental piece, but I believe he's a left tackle. I believe he's a left tackle, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sorry, he's a right tackle. All right, let's keep it going. At D tackle, they kept Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Moro Jomo, Ty Robinson, Gabe Hall, and Byron Young. On the edge at off-ball linebacker, they kept Nolan Smith, Jalix Hunt, Josh Uche, Aziz Ojolari, Ogbo Okoronkwo. At inside linebacker, your technicians, they got Zack Baun, Jihaad Campbell, Trotter Jr., and Smile Mondon. At corner, they have Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, Jakorian Bennett, Adoree Jackson, Keely Ringo, and Mac McWilliams. And at safety, they have Reed Blankenship, Sidney Brown, Andrew McCuba, Tristan McCullum. And as your specialist, they have Jake Elliott, your kicker, and Brandon Mann, your punter. And again, this 53-man roster will be very different when the season actually starts. Let's make that clear. When the season actually starts, this is going to look very, very different, you guys. Very, very different. Injured reserve / the PUP list, you got Nakobe Dean on the PUP list, should be ready by week 5. Johnny Wilson is done for the season. And you got Miles Hinton, a developmental offensive lineman out of Michigan that the Eagles really like, and they're hiding him on IR. Now, let's get to the roster cuts. Let's get to the roster cuts, y'all. Now, let's keep in mind here what it means. So, in the NFL, a player is released if they have at least 4 accrued seasons of experience, immediately becoming an unrestricted free agent. A player is considered waived if they have fewer than 4 accrued seasons, meaning they are subject to the waiver wire process where other teams can claim them. So, you'll notice here, the Eagles released 6 players. Charlie Hewlett, your long snapper, Patrick Johnson, off-ball linebacker, Kendall Lamb, veteran offensive tackle, Terrace Marshall, wide receiver, cornerback, Perry Nickerson, and wide receiver, Avery Williams. Now, I think Charlie Hewlett will be back on his roster somehow, some way. I also think we're going to see either Perry Nickerson or Avery Williams back on his roster. Now, again, those guys who have been released are unrestricted free agents. Unrestricted free agents. So any team can sign them. They don't have to go through waivers. The Eagles can immediately go get Charlie Hewlett. They can immediately go get Perry Nickerson or Avery Williams if they want, or Patrick Johnson, Kendall Lamb. They can go get any one of those release guys they want right now, if they want. Now, the waive guys, less than 4 seasons, less than 4 years of accrued experience, these guys have to go through the waiver wire, meaning that other teams have an opportunity to claim these guys before they get to the Eagles. So the Eagles waived Ife Adie, wide receiver, linebacker Chance Campbell, cornerback Tyreek Castro-Fields, who also was injured, wide receiver Elijah Cooks, who had a strong camp but got hurt in the opening preseason game and couldn't come back into the final preseason game, and he lost a lot of opportunities to Darius Cooper and Anaya Smith, to Johnny Wilson, and John Mechie. Linebacker Lance Dixon, who made plays in the preseason. D tackle Joe Evans. Linebacker Dallas Gant, another linebacker who made a lot of plays for the Eagles. Guard Quinyon Green, basically the player that the Eagles received in that C.J. Gardner-Johnson trade. They cut him. They clearly did. He clearly didn't show anything. Didn't put up any level of an inspiring performance. Quinyon Green is somebody who he's at a crossroads in his career. He was drafted in the first round and just can't seem to get out of his own way. I don't know if it's the injuries. I don't know if it's the mental block. I don't know what it is, but Quinyon Green is somebody the Eagles traded for, sending CJ to the Texans, and they're not getting any return on that. But that just goes to show you that moving on from CJ was more than just about money. It was more than just a football decision. I think it was a personnel, a roster decision, an infrastructure decision. That's what I think. At safety, they decided to move on from Maxon Hook out of Toledo. They may bring back Maxon Hook. He's a nice developmental safety. At tight end, they moved on from EJ Jenkins. They moved on from cornerback Brandon Johnson. They moved on from running back Montrell Johnson. Tight end Cameron Latu. Off-ball linebacker O'Shawn Mathis. Quarterback Kyle McCord. Wide receiver Taylor Morin. Tight end Nick Muse. Offensive tackle Holland Pierce out of Rutgers. I know a lot of you guys really like Holland Pierce. His size is spectacular. The athleticism is spectacular, but we'll see if the Eagles find a way to bring him back in the practice squad. They moved on from running back Shunderick Powell, off-ball linebacker Antoine Powell-Ryland. Now, I think APR makes it back to the practice squad. APR is somebody that had a productive college career, especially his final season, and he didn't really get too many opportunities in the preseason. Let's call that what it is. He didn't really get too many opportunities in the preseason, and I want to learn more about APR. I want to see more. I thought he would make this roster, but the more I thought about it, he just didn't get that. He didn't get enough opportunities for me to feel comfortable. So I had Patrick Johnson, but Patrick Johnson and him didn't make it. They went with Ogbo Okoronkwo. They moved on from cornerback Eli Ricks. I know a lot of you guys love pick six Ricks, but yeah, he got cut this time. Maybe they bring him back on the practice squad. They moved on from defensive end Dream Robinson, running back Keelan Robinson, D tackle Justin Rogers, safety Andre Sam, wide receiver Anaya Smith. I didn't see that coming. I thought Anaya Smith would make the roster. I thought they would keep 6 of those guys. And again, he showed that he's elevated his game as a receiver, in particular in the red zone, winning those quick slant matchups. He showed that he can be a threat in the punt return game. We saw that against the Bengals. I don't know. I just thought Anaya Smith would make the roster. But clearly the Eagles felt like they got a better chance of getting Anaya through waivers than Darius Cooper. D tackle, they moved on from Jacob Sykes. Offensive tackle, Laken Vakalahi, somebody they've been developing. Maybe they bring him back as well. And cornerback, AJ Woods. So there you have it, you guys. Those are the players who have been cut, waived and or released by the Philadelphia Eagles, you guys. So what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? Make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Let me know your thoughts regarding the Eagles' initial official 53-man roster. What are some of you guys' biggest takeaways? Leave your comment in the chat section. I really want to know what you guys think. What's your biggest takeaway from this roster? What's your strongest opinion about this roster? Anthony Krobeck says, happy for Darius Cooper. I'm with you 100%. I am so happy for Darius Cooper. Darius Cooper was undrafted out of Tarleton State. Let me see if I can find this kid's story, man. Darius Cooper, 23 years old. All right. Yeah, Darius Cooper got a lot of love, man. He got a lot of love. Darius Cooper is out of Tarleton State University in Texas. He wasn't a big name. He didn't go to a big school, wasn't a big name in college. He had 1,000. He had just over 1,400 receiving yards on 76 catches last year to go with 14 touchdowns and 14 games played. He was the weapon. He was the weapon at Charleston State. Over 1,400 yards receiving, 76 catches, and 14 touchdowns in 14 games played. He was a beast at Charleston State. So for him to make the Eagles roster undrafted, a guy who didn't get invited to the combine, I don't think he had a pro day, right? I'm not entirely sure. But no combine invites, none of that, man. And you gotta show love to Darius Cooper. You gotta show love to Darius Cooper, man. He got to change that number though. Number 41 is nasty work. We got to get my man a new jersey number. We got to. We got to get him a new jersey number. It's not cutting it, man. It's not cutting it. All right. Let's see what else you guys got going on here. Let's see what else you guys wrote. All right. Let me get to these super chats real quick. All right. We got I'm not doing okay right now. Says Quinyon Green is actually certified. You guys are crazy. He says Quinyon Green is actually certified ass. I was low-key so disappointed they cut him. Like, damn, you're so buns that not even stout could get you right. It's over. Yeah, man. It's unfortunate for Quinyon Green. I'm not going to jump out the window and say certified ass. I think that's a little disrespectful. Coming from me. You can say what you want. But coming from me, I don't think I can speak like that. But nonetheless, though, it's unfortunate, man. It just speaks volumes about how they felt about CJGJ, in my opinion. Miss Fanny with the super chat says, my prayer is that CBs 4 through 6 never see the field unless we're up by 30 points or it's the last 2 minutes of the game. Other than that, let's run it back. Here's the thing, Fanny, to your point. Most teams don't want to get to their third corner. You can go to any Super Bowl contender, any contender you find, the Bills, the Lions, go to the Chiefs, go to any contender, the Rams, go to any one of these teams. They do not want their third or fourth or fifth corner on the field. They don't want cornerbacks 4 through 6 on the field. Believe it or not, we're actually in a more common position than we think. We're in a more common position than we think. Last season was such an anomaly. Last season doesn't happen. You don't have that much talent at corner normally. Like normally teams don't have that high of a level of stability where if Darius Slay goes down, you got Isaiah Rodgers right there waiting. That's not normal. Now our cornerback room has kind of come back down to earth a little bit from a depth perspective. I think we're very top heavy with Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, and then everybody else is like mid-tier or below. We're very top heavy at corner from a talent perspective. But again, I think that's more par for the course. We just got spoiled last year. All right, let's see here. See what else we got. Ty Baby says what the wide receiver room is legit. Ty Baby, I agree with you. I really do agree with you. I think the wide receiver room is legit. I think we have the best wide receiver room in the division. Facts. I'll argue with anybody about that. We got the best wide receiver room in the division. This wide receiver room is better this year than they were last year. Am I tripping when I say that? Am I speaking crazy? Am I talking crazy when I say that? This wide receiver room is better now than they were last year. Simple as that. We're deeper. We're more talented. Guys have more. We got some more explosiveness there as well. We got more. You know what it is? You know what it is, y'all? When it comes to the wide receiver room, Ty baby, you know what it is? The floor has raised. Because I think we know what the ceiling is. Obviously, AJ Brown, Devontae, that's the ceiling. The floor for wide receivers 3, 4, and 5 has risen. I think Jihaad Dotson is going to have a better year this year with Jalen Hurts, more chemistry, more opportunities. Remember, he got traded to the Eagles right before the season started last year, so he didn't really get an opportunity to really get those reps in. But I think when it comes to the wide receiver room, the floor has raised. I think the ceiling is exactly what we know it to be. But the floor is significantly higher. So I like it. I like where we are there. Let me get to some more of your comments, you guys. Sweet Chin says they seem very invested in the wide receiver depth. Yeah, I know. Wide receiver depth and linebacker depth is crazy for the Eagles right now. That's never been the case. Let's call it what it is. That's never been the case. The Eagles have always struggled with wide receiver depth. They've struggled with linebacker depth and cornerback depth historically. And wide receiver depth, legit. Linebacker depth, legit. Last season, cornerback depth was legit. This year, cornerback depth, relatively unknown, if you ask me. Relatively unknown. But I think Quinyon and Coop is a great place to be. Gatekeeper Coley says, I think the Eagles did a good job with what they had. I would have to agree with you on that. With all things considered, let's be sorry. That Clips album is in my head. All things considered, let's be specific. My mama cheek. My mama cheek, I miss it. I want to kiss it. My bad, y'all. But yeah, all things considered, all things considered, you guys, I think they did a fantastic job keeping the players they did. They did a fantastic job building this roster this year. All things considered. All right, let's see where we are here. What else we got? Let me get to some of these super chats here. We got Dagger 81 says Elijah Cooks, Johnny Wilson, and Cooper over Anias for real. Oh no, I see what you're saying. You're saying like a statement, like Elijah Cooks, Johnny Wilson, and Darius Cooper are over Anias for real. I think they have higher ceilings. I mean, they're big. Anias is small. He's like 5'9", 5'10", very slight. You know, he's not the most domineering from a physical profile standpoint. You know, I just think the Eagles said to themselves, Darius Cooper has a higher ceiling, and we got a better chance of sneaking Anias through waivers than Darius Cooper. So, and I liked Elijah Cooks. The injury set him back. I wouldn't, honestly, if Elijah Cooks doesn't get hurt, maybe we don't trade for John Mechie. Maybe. Or who knows? Maybe Darius Cooper doesn't make the roster. You never know. But regardless, Elijah Cooks, Johnny Wilson is injured. Elijah Cooks, he's going to get picked up somewhere. Trust me. All it takes is one injury. But yeah, Darius Cooper, I'm just super happy for him, Dagger. I'm so happy for him. Miss Linda Washington, she says, no big surprises to me. No big surprises. She also says, thank you for the double super chats, Miss Linda. She says, cornerbacks are being cut across the league. Go get some. Yo, it's because like teams have more corners than anything else. Like as far as just bodies, you know, your team is going to have more offensive linemen and more corners than any position problem. So, yeah, we'll see. Howie Roseman kind of said this though. We got to see what we have. You got to see what you have, and he'll make the necessary moves. I know some of you guys are still ringing the Justin Simmons alarm. We'll see how that goes, though. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. I really do appreciate the support. You guys have been fantastic. We have over 250 people in the live stream, you guys, and the season hasn't even started yet. Let's really put that in perspective. The season hasn't even started yet, and we got 250 people in the stream. You guys are fantastic. Just wait until week 1. We're going to probably double that come week 1. Probably going to double that. Make sure you guys are on the right side of history. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, man. Again, that like button is super important in the YouTube space. 250 people tuned in right now. We only got 91 likes. The math not mathing, you guys. The math is not mathing. So I need you guys to do a little bit of a better job at being active with that like button. Maybe your hands are tied up. Maybe you're driving. Maybe you're changing some diapers. Maybe you're getting some cleaning done. You know what I mean? Before Labor Day weekend. I totally understand. Just make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, especially if you're new. It is so vital to support your favorite streamers, your favorite content creators, especially in the sports space. It's highly competitive. So many options out there, and you guys continue to show me love. So make sure you guys continue to show that love by smashing the like button and also subscribing to the channel. All right, let's see here. I see a lot of you guys are surprised that they kept 11 offensive linemen. I am surprised by that. I had them keeping 10. Like 11 offensive linemen sounds almost as crazy as keeping 7 wide receivers. Yo, when I told you guys that, yeah, the Eagles are going to keep 7 wide receivers, y'all was cracking the hell up. And the funny thing about it is, I knew they weren't keeping 7. I knew they weren't going to keep 7. I thought 6 was a reasonable number, though. When I said the Eagles keeping 7 receivers, they're going to do whatever possible to keep Darius Cooper on this roster. Y'all was cracking the hell up. Rightfully so. But I was right about one thing. Darius Cooper! Darius Cooper! Darius Cooper! I'm rolling. I'm rocking and rolling. Hey, Wharf, fall back, man. Wharf, fall back. Listen, fall back, bro. I didn't expect Johnny Wilson to get hurt. You know what I mean? But I knew one thing for sure. I knew they was keeping Darius Cooper. I knew they was keeping my boy Coop. D. Coop, the Tarleton State legend. I knew they was keeping my boy, man. Hey, listen, man. Let me ask y'all a question. What's the over-under on Darius Cooper targets in week 1? What's the over-under for Darius Cooper targets? I'm not even talking catches. What's the over-under for Darius Cooper targets in week 1? 1.5? What is it, 1.5? Dagger says 3. What's the over-under for his targets? Yo, Baun Croy says 0. Which King of Angmar says he might not even be active for this game. Dagger says 0.2. Baun Croy says -100. S1 says, y'all, do you think he's active week 1? Probably not. Probably not. Actually, hold on. No, I think he's active. No, I think he's active. No, he's active. 5 wide receivers. One of those guys got to probably be returning for you. I think he's active. At least in the special team role. I think he's active for sure. Because think about it. If you only activate 4 and you run 11 personnel, you got 3 wide receivers on the field, you only got 1 reserve. If guys get hurt, he's active. I think he's active. Because remember, they was trying him out as a return man. All right, let's see here. We got another super chat. My man Roland DS with the super chat. Thank you, Roland. I really do appreciate your donation. He says, "Yo, Tone, welcome to the Darius Cooper Show, starring Darius Cooper." Hey, listen, y'all. I don't care, man. I am super happy for Darius Cooper. I'm super happy. Hey, listen, I got a bold prediction, y'all. I got a bold prediction. Bold prediction. Darius Cooper will be wide receiver 3 in 2026. Darius Cooper will be wide receiver 3 in 2026. That's my bold prediction, y'all. Smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. I appreciate the love. Are y'all rolling with that? Am I off base? Am I putting the cart before the horse? Darius Cooper, wide receiver 3 in 2026. You heard it here first. You heard it here first. No, I'm not forgetting about Mechie. I didn't forget about him. I'm just betting on Coop. I didn't forget about him. My man Anthony Krobeck said, "Coop." Yo, man. I like this roster. I do. This roster is fun to look at, isn't it? No, like all jokes aside, this roster is kind of fun to just look at. This roster is fun to kind of predict what's going to happen. I like this roster. LD2 Ballin says Cooper equals Fulgham. Nah, this is different. This is different. The Eagles were relying on Fulgham. The Eagles were legit relying on Fulgham. They're not relying on Cooper to be what they needed Fulgham to be. I don't think Darius Cooper and Travis Fulgham are the same. But we'll see. We sure will see, y'all. Make sure you guys smash that like button. We got another super chat here from my man Alex. He says here, "I think they kept so many linemen because they weren't comfortable in keeping players in other positions. I also think they kept so many linemen because they just look at those guys as super talented and they don't want to let them walk. I think they don't want to let Lane Johnson's potential replacement walk out the door. Think about it. They're hiding Miles Hinton on IR. They decided to keep Cameron Williams, somebody who's really raw, and in my opinion, didn't do enough in the preseason to warrant a roster spot. They kept another rookie, Drew Kendall, who's proven he could be a backup center at the very least and has guard capabilities. And then you brought back Fred Johnson as your swing tackle. You got a veteran in Matt Pryor as your backup right tackle or backup right guard. You got another young player you're developing in Trevor Keegan. You got another veteran in Brett Toth. I think they kept so many linemen because it's hard to let those guys go. And when you're developing them, and you also have to keep in mind that you got a left guard in Landon Dickerson who has battled ticky-tack injuries throughout his career, still been available, but battled ticky-tack injuries. You got a center in Cam Jurgens who's coming off of back surgery. You got a OG in Lane Johnson who could retire after this season, depending on how it ends. I totally understand. Like when I really take a step back and zoom out, I totally understand why they kept so many offensive linemen. Totally. You got to make sure you're developing guys when Lane leaves. You got to make sure you got some solid depth guys in case guys get hurt. You know, that interior at left guard and safety, left guard and center, you know, health can be a little funny. Justice says Patrick Johnson was surprising. Yeah, I thought Patrick Johnson did. I thought Patrick Johnson did more this go around than he did last time. I was kind of surprised Patrick Johnson didn't make the roster. I thought he had a better preseason than Ogbo Okoronkwo. That's what I thought. But you know, maybe they saw something we weren't seeing. I really thought Patrick Johnson was making the roster to go around. It's cool. Somebody's going to sign Patrick Johnson, yo. One thing about Patrick Johnson, he stays on a roster. Whether if it's practice squad, whether if it's if somebody gets hurt, trust me. Patrick Johnson is going to get another job. He stays on the roster. All right. Private McClunky says people are saying Uche might be trade bait for Travon Walker or that Dolphins player. I don't know. I don't know if Howie makes a major move like that. I mean, the opener is quite literally a week and some change away. Quite literally a week and some change away. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I don't think it's likely Howie makes a major trade like that prior to the season. I don't think so. Who knows though? I could be totally wrong, and I'm totally willing to be wrong. Cody with the super chat says, in addition to what you said, Stout gets his guys first over the other coordinators. Yeah, you know, Stoutland, you know, he's been in this league for a long time. He's been on the Eagles for a long time. He has so much equity in the building. When Stoutland wants somebody, he gets that guy. Simple as that. All Stoutland has to do is go up to Howie's office and say, hey, you know why I'm here. You know why I'm here. And that's another thing, Tiffany, a sidebar from the Jeff Stoutland point. Thank you, Cody, for your super chat, man. I really do appreciate it. Travon Walker is on a rookie deal looking for a new contract. I don't think he gets that from the Eagles. We got to keep that in mind. I don't think the Eagles are trying to trade for somebody who wants a big payday when they got to pay Jalen Carter pretty soon. They got to figure out Jordan Davis's contract. They got to figure out Reed Blankenship's contract. They got to figure out Nolan Smith's long-term deal. They got to figure out Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean when that gets here in a couple seasons. Like, I don't think they make a play for Travon Walker. He wants a new deal. As Blunt says, listen to Howie's presser today. He said he's not using all these draft picks and he plans to make more deals. I'm sure he will. I'm totally sure Howie's going to make more moves. I just don't know. I just don't know if it's going to be as big of a splash as we think. If he does make a big splash, I think it may be something more along the lines of maybe signing Justin Simmons or maybe trading for another edge rusher, maybe not an elite guy, but a solid edge rusher. I don't know. And then Jalen Phillips, he's coming off of the ACL. I'm cool off Jalen Phillips. Jalen Phillips, did he have like 2 ACL tears? Talented dude, but he's 26 years old. But Jalen Phillips hasn't played a full season of football since 2022. He's only been active for 12 games out of a possible 34 over the past 2 seasons. He played in 8 games in 2023, played in 4 games in 2024. I think he tore his ACL in back-to-back seasons. Let me see. So, listen to this. On September 30th, 2024, he tore his ACL, missed 13 games. In 2023, he tore his Achilles. Come on, man. Nah, I'm not jacking it. And in 2023, he had an abdominal muscle strain, missing 2 games. He had a lower lumbar strain or sprain, missed the game. Nah, man, I'm cool. Jalen Phillips blew his Achilles out and his knee out. And nah, I'm cool. Talented brother, 6'5", 263. Went to the University of Miami, drafted by the Miami Dolphins. He could play. Don't get it twisted. He can play. But he got way too much going on. Way too much going on. All right, let's see here. Where are we, you guys? Where are we? So, yeah, again, the Eagles have released their official initial 53-man roster. Initial meaning that this roster can definitely change when opening kickoff begins. Just to revisit and recap, you guys. Here is the Philadelphia Eagles official initial 53-man roster as of August 26, 2025. We got 3 quarterbacks, Jalen Hurts, Tanner McKee, Sam Howell. We got 3 running backs, Saquon Barkley, A.J. Dillon, and Will Shipley. We got 1 fullback in Ben Van Sumeren. We have 5 wide receivers in A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Jahan Dotson, Darius Cooper, and John Mechie III. We have 3 tight ends, Dallas Goedert, Greg Cacatera, and Kylan Granson. We have 11 offensive linemen. We have Lane Johnson, Tyler Steen, Cam Jurgens, Landon Dickerson, Jordan Mailata, Fred Johnson, Drew Kendall, Matt Pryor, Brett Toth, Cameron Williams, and Trevor Keegan. At D tackle, we have 6 guys here. We have Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Moro Jomo, Ty Robinson, Gabe Hall, and Byron Young. On the edge, we have 5 players: Nolan Smith, Jalix Hunt, Josh Uche, Aziz Ojolari, and Ogbo Okoronkwo. At inside linebacker, we have 4 guys as well. We got Zack Baun, Jihaad Campbell, Jeremiah Trotter Jr., and Smile Mondon. At corner, we have Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, Jakorian Bennett, Adoree Jackson, Keely Ringo, and Matt McWilliams. That's 6 corners. We got 4 safeties: Reed Blankenship, Sidney Brown, Andrew McCuba, Tristan McCullum. And we got 2 specialists, Jake Elliott and Braden Mann, your kicker and your punter, respectively. And on injured reserve or the PUP list, we have Nakobe Dean on the PUP list. Johnny Wilson is on IR, done for the season, and Miles Hinton is on IR as well. The Eagles are just hiding him. They don't want to cut him. They're just hiding him with an ankle injury. And as far as roster cuts go, remember, guys are released if they have at least 4 seasons in the league, and guys are waived if they have fewer than 4 seasons. When you're released, you go immediately to the free agent pool. Anybody can sign you. When you're waived, you have to go through waivers. And teams can claim your rights. All right, so the Eagles released long snapper Charlie Hewlett, Patrick Johnson, Kendall Lamb, Terrace Marshall Jr., Perry Nickerson, and Avery Williams. The Eagles waived the following players: Ife Adie, Chance Campbell, Tyreek Castro Fields, Elijah Cooks, Lance Dixon, Joe Evans, Dallas Gant, Kenyon Green, Maxon Hook, E.J. Jenkins, Brandon Johnson, Montrell Johnson, Cameron Latu, O'Shawn Mathis, Kyle McCord, Taylor Morin, Nick Muse, Holland Pierce, Shunderick Powell, Antoine Powell-Ryland, Eli Ricks, Jareem Robinson, Keelan Robinson, Justin Rogers, Andre Sam, Anais Smith, Jacob Sykes, Laken Vakalahi, and A.J. Woods. All right. There you have it. There you have it, you guys. Let's see where we are here. All right, you guys are doing phenomenal. Thanks for supporting the show. You guys are truly doing phenomenal, man. All right. Again, I like this roster a lot. On paper, I look at it and I see depth, I see talent. Obviously, the Eagles have questions at cornerback too, but I think more teams than not have questions at cornerback too. I think with what Vic Fangio does, his capabilities with his defense, I think Vic Fangio is going to do a good job putting the right guys on the field. Miss Fanny back again with the super chat. She says, every time they say Brett Toth, I shiver like the hyenas did when they heard the name Mufasa. But in a bad way. Yo, Miss Fanny, how do you come up with this stuff? Yeah, Brett Toth is a funny case, man. I'm always like, how is Brett Toth keep making this roster? How? Look, he's a backup. So, I mean, he clearly isn't a starter, but sometimes I'm like, how the hell does Brett Toth keep making this roster? Like, he seems almost untouchable. Jeff Stoutland must really like this kid, or he may, or a Ty. Is it magic? I don't know. But is Jeff Stoutland his uncle or something? Or like is Jeff Stoutland like his godfather or some shit? Like y'all know Jeff Stoutland is Italian. So did somebody make Jeff Stoutland an offer he couldn't refuse? Did somebody go to Jeff Stoutland's office on the day of his daughter's wedding and say, I need Brett Toth to make this roster? That's what it seems like. Somebody had to go to Jeff Stoutland's office or Howie Roseman's office and said, listen, I understand it's the day of your daughter's wedding, but I need this favor. I need this favor. Oh, man. I don't know, bro. I don't know, man. But, hey, keep making your money, big fella. Shoot. Keep making that NFL money. Y'all funny as hell, man. Keep making that NFL coin, big dog. I ain't even mad at you, man. I ain't even mad at you. All right, we're going to begin to close this show out, you guys. Again, you guys have been phenomenal. We got over 200 people on the live stream. Yeah. Yo, you guys are funny. Again, I appreciate the love. I appreciate the support. Man, we've been waiting weeks for this, and now we finally see what this 53-man roster looks like. So it's exciting. I can't wait for the season to start. We have so much more to get into, so much more to talk about. I'm trying to see tomorrow. Tomorrow we definitely got some content dropping for sure. Just not sure what time yet. But anyway, smash that like button, you guys. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Make sure you guys stay active. Tune in on Instagram. Tune in on TikTok. Tune in on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Definitely tune in on YouTube. The content is there for you guys to lock in on. So we're going to close the show out. I appreciate the love. You guys have been great. I've been your humble host, on DeShields the second. And you guys have been locked in on your dose of Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game.